What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight. Oh, well, no, they've both been on the channel before, but never together. So we're coming back to Jack Bruce and Peter Frampton. Yes, indeed, Jack Bruce and Peter Frampton fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Stubble McShave, and Stubble McShave wanted to see me react to this. It is Jack Bruce and Peter Frampton doing a cover of the Cream song, Sunshine of Your Love. Now, have I heard this song before? Full disclosure, yes. Yes, I have. This is one of the biggest hits. It's not the biggest hits, but not the biggest hit that Cream ever had, but it's up there. It's really up there. I would probably put this top three as far as hit songs go. Probably top three, one of Cream's top three songs as far as record sales are concerned. So I know the song. I've heard the song. I've played the song. So yeah, we've definitely heard this one. Now, having said that, this is a cover. Jack Bruce and Peter Frampton. This could be interesting. I'm not quite sure what to expect here. From what I understand, this is also a live performance. So I will not be taking the original song into account here in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, like I said, I've heard the song before, so I can't react to the actual original song. But I will be basing my evaluation and my review and my score completely on the cover that is done, number one. And if this is in fact a live performance, I can also base my evaluation, review, and score on the live performance as well. So keep that in mind, folks. Okay, let's see. This was posted by People70. Okay, and the video has 107,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Jack Bruce and Peter Frampton, Sunshine of Your Love. There you go. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
It's getting dark when the lights closing tight. I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn surprise. Be with you, darling, soon. Be with you when the stars start falling. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going.
Good, huh?
The sunshine
that Ringo? Wait a second. Is that Ringo Starr on the drums? Hold on. I know it's not the best picture quality, but I swear that looks like Ringo Starr. I'm surprised if that is Ringo, I'm really surprised it's not in the title. That's a little shocking to me, but it is what it is. So far so good. I'm a little surprised by a couple of things. When the song kicked off, Jack Bruce was playing by himself. It was bass only, no guitar at the very beginning. Guitar held off until the third time through the riff, which is interesting because if my memory serves correctly, on the studio recording, it was guitar and bass right from the beginning. So interesting choice to have guitar lay out the first two times through. Hearing Jack Bruce sing the song as the lead, it's different. He definitely brings a different vocal style than Clapton does, obviously. But it's interesting to hear it with his style. It sounds good. I like it. I hesitate. I kind of hesitate to say this because I don't want to offend anybody, but I gotta be honest with you, folks. I think I like Jack Bruce's vocal delivery just a little bit more than Clapton's. I can't explain it. It sounds more straightforward. It sounds more direct. Where Clapton's vocal style sounded a little more relaxed. And I know for a song like this, a relaxed style of vocal would make sense. And maybe that's just because that's all we've all heard it, you know, the studio recording with Clapton's relaxed delivery style, where Jack Bruce is a little more on top of the beat, a little more on top of the vocal delivery. I hope that makes sense to everybody. But I think I like the vocal delivery just a little bit more. The vocal harmonies coming from Peter Frampton sounds really good. I like that. So far, so good. So far, so good. Let's be honest, it is a carbon copy cover, which, looking at the time of this, it's over 7.5 minutes long. Memory serves right. Isn't the original song around 4:15, 4:20, somewhere in there? So they must be opening this up for solos, which is it's funny because this is a song. Looking at that main riff, you could absolutely open up this song for solos. You absolutely could. You could open this song up as long as you wanted, as long as the solos sound good, you know. And if I'm guessing Peter Frampton gets the guitar solos, and if that's the case, we could be in for a real treat when it comes to the solo sections. So then again, Jack Bruce might take a bass solo. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hell, Ringo might hit a drum solo. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how that one goes. Anyway, let's get back into this, shall we?
I'm with you, my love. The light shining through are you. Yes, I'm with you, my love. It's the morning and just sweet too. Gonna stay with you, darling, now. Yeah. Stay with you till my seeds are all dried up. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going in the sunshine of your love. All right.
Here we go, solo time. Back. No, it's not. Nice. Tear it up.
Come with you, my love. The light shines through you.
Yeah, I think we see where those extra 3 minutes are coming from. I have always said when it comes to opening up songs for solos, for the purpose of extended solos, I have never had a problem with it as long as 2 conditions are met. Number 1, the song style, the songwriting style makes sense to open up. And usually that would call for a somewhat simplistic riff. If you have an overly complicated riff, it's going to make opening up for solos a lot tougher, a lot harder to make it pleasing to the ear, because you're going to have this complicated riff going while a solo is going on, an extended solo. You're going to have the 2 things battling with each other. If you have a far more simplistic riff like this song, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to open it up for everybody, not just the soloist, but for the rest of the band as well. So that's condition number 1. Condition number 2, the solo has got to be interesting. The solo has got to be captivating. The solo has got to deserve that opportunity to be opened up for. And I can honestly say that this met both conditions. Frampton's solo, man, he was tearing it up. It sounded good. And not only that, but Jack Bruce coming in every once in a while towards the end of each phrase to, add his own little thing in there, octave 7/5, diddle 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 diddle, and then he would sweep up, wow wow wow, on that. He's playing a fretless, and doing slides like that on a fretless is always going to sound better than a fretted bass. There are a lot of challenges that come with playing a fretless. When you're playing hold on. So when you're playing a bass with frets, I'll use my vampire here. You're playing with frets. You push your finger. Now you can push your finger down on the neck anywhere on that space in the fret. Okay. Now I know that looks like, not a lot of space, but when we're talking about pitch, moving your finger from here to here without that fret on a fretless is going to make a significant difference. You're going to hear a significant difference in pitch. With a fretted bass, you can put your finger anywhere between those two frets and it's going to sound the exact same thanks to the fret itself. Playing a fretless bass, you got to be dead on accurate. So instead of playing and putting your finger anywhere between those two frets on a fretless, you got to put your finger right where that fret would be to get the perfect pitch, you know? So you have to be spot on accurate with your finger placement. It makes it far more challenging to play a fretless bass. And I've always had a lot of respect for bass players who play fretless basses. Not only that, but it is going to sound a little different. It's going to be, you're going to get a little bit of a warmer, natural tone than you would from a fretted bass. Whenever you play with frets, you're going to have a little bit, just ever so slightly, you're going to get a little bit of that metallic buzz, that metallic tone because of metal on metal. You know, you're going to have the metal from the string being pressed down against the metal of the fret. So you're going to have a little bit of that metal tone. It's going to happen. Okay. You can do your best to EQ it all you want. And you can get a very warm, rich sound out of a fretted bass. Absolutely. But if you take the exact same settings and apply it in just plug in a fretless bass, you're going to see between the two, using the exact same settings on your amp, you're going to find that the fretless bass is just, it's going to sound warmer. It's going to sound richer. It's going to sound more natural. So, there's a lot of pluses that come with being able to play a fretless bass. And like I said, I've always given tons of credit to bass players who play fretless bass because it's a challenge. It is an absolute challenge. I like what Jack was doing with those, you know, those little riffs that he was throwing in there at the end of each phrase. And as soon as he was done, as soon as the phrase was over, and we went back to you know, bar one, he went right back into the main groove again. His fun time was over, and let's get back to business, which opened up the floor more for Peter Frampton to solo. So, no, I like everything I'm hearing. Everything I'm hearing. So let's finish this out and we'll get to the review.
Yes, it is. Yes, I'm with you, my love. It's a morning and just sweet too. Stay with you, darling, now. Gonna stay with you till my seas are all dried up. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going in the sunshine of your love. Sunshine!
Oh, yeah. Big rock and roll ending. Here it comes. Here we go. Nice. Good ending.
Thank you.
Yeah. Got the big rock and roll ending, but not too over the top and not too long. Just that, honestly, the perfect amount of time. Just enough to rock it out, get the crowd fired up for that ending, and then bam, cut off. Nice. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I had a certain level of expectation coming into this. I was expecting certain things, and I got everything I was expecting. And I got some things that I was not expecting. So this is going to be an interesting review. Let me get my thoughts together. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. And I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Jack Bruce and Peter Frampton doing a cover of the Cream song, Sunshine of Your Love. This was a request from Stubble McShade. All right. Before I give my score, I was contemplating, should I give the score first before I say this? And no, it's going to make more sense for me to say this before I give the score. Before I give my score, I got to say, going into this, I had a certain level of expectation. I was expecting certain things to happen. I was expecting to see certain things. I was expecting to hear certain things. I was expecting certain things to occur. And I have to say, all of my expectations were met. Every single one of them. I was not disappointed at all in anything I heard or saw. Having said that, they actually exceeded my expectations. They were doing things both from a musicianship standpoint and from a visual standpoint that, quite frankly, I was not expecting. So I'll go into these reactions sometimes. I'll have an idea of the kind of score I'm probably going to be around. Not an exact number, but within 2 to 3 tenths up or down. I think of a score just off the top of my head, like I'm willing to bet this is going to get a blank. And I gotta say, this doesn't happen very often, but I was way off. It was a bit more than just 0.3 of a point. No, this was significantly different. So having said that, let's get to the score, and I'll tell you how I got there. On a scale of 1 to 10, brace yourselves, folks. I'm going to give that an 8.6. Yep, 8.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.6, what does that mean? Well, an 8.6 would translate to a great skill rating because overall, I think this was a great presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A letter grade. Yeah, you heard that right, an A letter grade. So there you go, an 8.6, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Ha-ha! So glad you asked. Like I said, I went into this with a certain level of expectation. Look, listen, Jack Bruce wrote this song, okay? So it's no surprise that he's going to be able to play it, the way that he plays it. That's not a shock whatsoever. Adding Peter Frampton to the mix, now that was a surprise. I never thought I'd see the day that Peter Frampton would be in the mix covering a Cream song, let alone playing it with Jack Bruce. Throw into that mix, and I swear it's him. Throw in Ringo Starr into the mix, and you got a lot of firepower on that stage, quite a bit. And you're wondering, these are 3 different artists from 3 different styles, and how are they going to sound coming together? Well, as we found out, they come together really well. They go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Bacon and eggs, ranks and beans, death and taxes, politics and corruption.
They go hand in hand. And it sounded really good. Really good. Let's be honest here. Sunshine of Your Love. Is this a complicated song? No. Is the songwriting all that impressive about this song? No. But the song is iconic, and the song is very well known. If you talk to any musician, whether it be a guitar player, bass player, drummer, any musician who plays in rock music, ask them, name the first 5 songs you learned how to play. 99% of the time, this song is going to be in the first 5. I guarantee you this and Smoke on the Water, Boom Boom, those are 3 that I can guarantee you pretty much every rock musician learned these songs as one of the first 5 songs they ever learned how to play. And the reason for that, the song is so easy. It's such a simple riff. It's very repetitive. And it's so simple to learn. I can guarantee you. Ask any rock musician, name the first 5 songs you learned. I guarantee you, 99% of the time, this is going to be one of them. It may not be number 1. It may be, number 4 or number 5 or number 3, but I guarantee you it's going to be in those top 5. Which leads me to my next thing. I saw the length of the song, and I thought to myself, this is like a 7.5 minute long video. Isn't the original recording like 4:15 to 4:20? Well, I went and checked. The original recording is 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So, I was close. I wasn't exact, but I was close. So I thought to myself, okay, they're gonna open this up for solos. And if I had to guess, it's gonna be Peter Frampton. Okay, so let's think about this logistically. Does this song meet all the requirements that I have for opening up a song for solos? And my answer immediately was yes, with an asterisk. I wasn't sure about Peter Frampton. I know Peter Frampton is an amazing guitarist, okay? He's a phenomenal guitar player. Having said that, I don't know what he was going to play for the solo. Was he going to be, tearing it up like he normally does? Is he going to be stripping it down to fit more of the style of solo for this song? I wasn't sure what was going to happen there. I had a feeling it was going to be Peter Frampton getting the solos. But other than that, the main one is, is this the type of and style of song, the type of songwriting that allows for opening up to make sense for a solo? Because like I was saying, if you have a very complicated riff, opening it up for a solo, not the best idea, because you're going to have the solo going against the interesting riff, and they're going to be in this power struggle for attention. Meanwhile, a song like this with a very simple riff, you don't have to worry about that. You're gonna steal the show with your solo, guaranteed. And I gotta say, Peter Frampton, yeah, he tore it up. He tore it up, and he sounded good. It never got boring. Honestly, when he started soloing, the time kind of flew by a little bit. I loved what he was doing with his solo. On top of that, Jack Bruce's bass playing on that sounded really good. He was tearing up a little bit himself too. When he got to the end of the phrase, before he would go back to the beginning again, he was, adding his own little touch in there. The octave 7/5, octave 7/5, octave 5. That's a great riff, man. It's a very simple, easy riff, but it sounds good up on the neck like that. He would go up on the neck and he would come back down again. Up on the neck, come back down again. Up on the neck, come back down again. I was perfectly fine with that, because every time he went up, he didn't stay up for too long. He would go back down and reestablish the bottom end pretty quick. So no complaints there. Drumming was solid. I had no issues with the drumming whatsoever. Vocally, I think both of their vocal styles added to the song. I like Jack Bruce's approach. I said this during the reaction, and I stand by it. I actually think I like Jack Bruce's vocal delivery a little better than Clapton's.
What? What did you say, Sailor? You can't say that! He can't say that!
And I know Cream purists are going to be, screaming heresy. Look, they don't call me David Heretic for nothing, all right? But I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. I think Jack Bruce's delivery felt better for this song. It was a stark contrast to the laid-back style of playing that the song delivers on, with his vocal delivery being right on top. Whereas by stark contrast, you had Peter Frampton's vocal style a little more Clapton-esque, a little more laid back, a little more relaxed on the vocal delivery. A great contrast between the two. And when they would harmonize, it sounded really nice. It sounded really good. No, this was on its own. This was a great live performance of the song. The musicianship was great. Peter Frampton's guitar solo absolutely tore it up. And on top of that, we had, and this is where the surprise, this was another, not just the only surprise. I was surprised by the guitar solo, but this was another surprise, the live visual show. I was not expecting it. Let's go down the checklist and you'll see what I'm talking about. Stage presence. Okay, check. I knew they were going to have stage presence. They looked like performers. They acted like performers. I got no problem with that. Stage energy. Check. What? I was not expecting that. I was expecting them both to be just kind of standing in front of their mics and playing and singing and not really moving around a whole lot. Boy, was I wrong. Jack Bruce moving all over the stage. And Peter Frampton was moving around quite a bit during his solo, which was a little shocking. So, was not expecting that. That was not in my predictions. So, very pleasantly surprised there. That gets a big check. Stage interaction. Huge check. How many times did they interact with each other? I think they interacted with each other on 3 separate occasions. And each time they would interact with each other, it wasn't just in passing. It was intentional. And they got right in front of each other and were playing to each other for over 30 seconds each time. And I was not expecting that. I was very pleasantly surprised by that. So that gets another huge check. Crowd interaction. This was my only gripe. When it came to the live show, there was no crowd interaction. Which is kind of a bummer. It's definitely kind of a bummer. Lots of opportunities in that song to interact with the crowd. With the song being as simple as it is, there's definitely opportunities for interacting with the crowd, but we never saw any. Like I said, unfortunate. Did it hurt the score? It would have been higher. I'll just say that it would have been higher if we had some crowd interaction. But let's move on because showmanship, again, unexpected. Didn't see it coming. It gets checked. Between all the stage energy that they created and the stage interaction they created, it was entertaining to watch. It was. I wasn't expecting to be as entertained as I was by the visual aspect of the performance. So showmanship definitely gets a check. Production, there was no production, but that's okay. Listen, production is always bonus points anyway. You will never lose points for not having production unless you're a production-based band. If you rely on production for your live performances, then your production better be on point. I never in a million years would ever imagine this being a production-based live performance. I no. No, you're not going to have smoke and cryo and lasers and pyro and squibs and flame pots. You're not going to have all this, okay? You're not for something like this. So, no production, but like I said, that didn't hurt the score at all. It was a non-factor. So, taking the live show into account, this is how we ended up at the end of the day at an 8.6. Yeah, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.6, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then, by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.